Jewelry can say many things on your wedding day. As a wedding band, it can say, "This is a forever symbol of our forever love." As a gift to your wedding party, it can say, "Thanks for standing up there with us." Blue Nile can help you find the piece that says it all and says it beautifully, with expert guidance and a wide assortment of jewelry of the highest quality at the best price. Go to BlueNile.com and experience the convenience of shopping Blue Nile, the original online jeweler since 1999. That's BlueNile.com.
Ryan Reynolds here from Mint Mobile. With the price of just about everything going up during inflation, we thought we'd bring our prices down. So to help us, we brought in a reverse auctioneer, which is apparently a thing.
Mint Mobile Unlimited Premium Wireless. How to get 30, 30, bit to get 30, bit to get 20, 20, 20, bit to get 20, 20, bit to get 15, 15, 15, 15, just $15 a month? Sold!
Give it a try at mintmobile.com/switch.
$45 up front for 3 months plus taxes and fees. Promo rate for new customers for limited time. Unlimited more than 40 gigabytes per month. Slows full terms at mintmobile.com.
Yes. Welcome, everybody, to a new episode of Giving Flowers with myself, B-Dog, and the one and only Ganja Warrior, Eric Iberg.
Pleasure, B-Dog. How are you today?
Good, thanks. We all know herbs are the healing of the nation.
It's true.
What's a Ganja Warrior like you healing the nation with today?
Once again, Minnesota Organic. Big up Ross Jacob, Dark Horse Farms. Oh man, it's all organic. CBD, Moon Rock. Fuck man, I am so stoked for today. I am so stoked to talk to Houle. Houle. Cool like Houle.
And Ross Jacob is located in Minnesota, as you are. The land of 10,000 lakes.
It's true.
You know what we known for in Quebec?
No. Poutine?
Yeah, that's one of them. But also, hydroelectricity. Yeah, syrup too.
Hydroelectric? Okay.
Hydroelectricity. We got dams. And the man we have on today is charged up with electrical power. One of his kind. The battery pack on his back stays full. No shortage of circuit. You've seen him jump in the water. Don't affect him. His emotional cords are high tension and channeled right back into skiing. You've seen how he can get
angry.
And then it all comes back into skiing as one powerfully aggressive and committed style. His video segments.
Damn.
His video segments are shocking. On rails, he's like a magnet. He's award-winning gold medalist, achieved super heroic stunts. But unlike any other superheroes, he wasn't gifted with his supernatural abilities. He got him through hard work. For real, one of the hardest working men in the game. I was lucky enough to catch static from the power source itself. Today, we are giving flowers to no other than
JF motherfucking Houle. So we're going to call him up. He better be following new schoolers. That's what I learned. JF_Houle. Houle, if you're watching, I just invited you. I think you just hit the join button and then boom, bomb, and move Phil over. Just like that.
Yo, boys. Woo! Thanks for the intro. Good to see you guys.
Phil's a professional at these intros, man.
Yeah, dude, he's killing it. Wow.
You get it right.
That was nicely
for
put.
your next movie.
It's easy, man. When it comes to you, JF, also we had a close relationship through the ages, and words just come out so easy. You've been such an inspiration, and I mean, and like I felt like, oh shit, I could attribute like a lot of time writing and just researching your shit. Yesterday, I was looking at your video segments and mapping the times, and I was eating while doing it, and I couldn't eat because there was so many shit I had to take note of. I was like, ugh, 2013, Hooligan, nose butter fort.
A lot of nose butter in there for sure.
Yeah.
Jeff, have you seen the show before?
Never. I'm not gonna lie. I just a busy life these days. I never take the time, but I'm excited to join you guys and see
So
what's going on.
the point of this show is Phil and I always talk about skiing. This is to explain it to anyone that's watching.
Yeah.
Phil and I wanted to celebrate and give flowers to people that we think play a huge role in helping create this whole sport, like making it how dope it is today and why it even exists. When we make the list, we go through, like, your name's one at the top. I mean, you're like, I think our 13th show or something. So we want to use this time that we to talk to you, catch up, and celebrate you. You know,
Yeah.
and say thanks for everything you did, from your movie segment, putting it out there, creating movies, doing like contests, everything, man. You've been there, you've done it all. So we want to use this time to like kind of go over it, celebrate, high five you, man, because you're still here. I haven't talked to you forever. I used to see you every year for like 15 years. Bill lives beside you. I don't know when the last time you guys hung out, but yeah, man. So that's the point of giving flowers, man. Giving flowers to you and celebrating you today.
Yeah, boys. Really, really dope that you guys are doing that, and I think this industry needs some for sure, like throwback and like how it used to be a little bit. Like things has changed for sure. So thanks to you guys for doing it. It's tight.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, we're hyped, man. We got a list going that's unreal already. Once everything is stacked on top of one another, it's going to be a historical little Hall of Fame digital. So one thing that's congruent with our show is we invite people that we like the style and that have a very defined style. And we always ask our guests their definition of style. Can you give us yours?
Well, I guess my style always been kind of aggressive, like you said in the intro. You know, I'm really emotional, and I use those emotions to kind of fuel up my skills and everything. Like it's about hard working all the time. You know, just putting the work. And I'll describe it as maybe aggressive and intense. Maybe there are two words that comes into my mind when you ask me that. But yeah, just using these emotion and like as a fuel to, I don't know, create something and something different that will reflect my personality. Always been real important for me in everything I do, even now, like in my work or anything. You know, it's about hard working and yeah, man.
Well said, man. I would agree. But yet,
I started at the beginning, Phil.
aggressive. Go ahead, Iberg.
Oh, just when you're done on this subject, I want to go to the beginning.
Word, yeah. Just to add up to what you were saying, aggressive for sure, but still while being composed and smooth. So it's a right balance of it all. It's just like very powerful and just full-hearted, committed, and yeah. Salute to you for that, because you definitely have changed the game as far as feature size and influence, like how to approach a feature with balls of steel.
Yes, like everything I do, I got a lot of inspiration by snowboarding, you know, like so my ski has to stay together and all the like switch 50-50 and all that. Like I was doing like on some feature, just trying to recreate a little bit, like inspiring by definitely the snowboard style. And even like through the years, you know, skiing with boys like you, B-Dog, like influenced my style definitely. And like the foot control is really important. And it, feel like these days, sometimes it's not as composed. So well said too on your part.
I think I want to get back to that because I think the aggression that you have is also a slash commitment. You know, like for what you're committed to accomplishing, whether it was a movie or your ski stuff. But I want to get into kind of like, because the big thing I want to celebrate is how long you were in it. You know, and I don't know. I'm sorry if you're still charging making a movie this year. I don't know.
No.
Okay. So, but the point is, like, I first saw who you were in like 2003, and then I was watching some shit you put out in 2015. So I was like, holy fuck! Not only the length you were able to do the whole career, but it was amazing that you were able to evolve. And so looking at the beginning, like you were a Stoneham kid, born and raised?
Drummondville, but pretty much like my home resort was Stoneham, and this is where I grew up skiing, that's for sure.
And how old are you today?
I'm 36 now.
Okay, so 36. So 2000, you were 14. So like when you're 14 and you're going to your home like place where you ski the most, and you knew he was already a legend for like at 14, when did you kind of get the itch, and why did you get the itch? You can get it like you had so many superstar legends like in a 2-mile radius or 12, whatever. But like, when did you get started? I guess, and like, what was really the first move? Because I didn't really get to experience you until like the Phils brought you into the world, like for my side in like 2005 or something, or 4.
Yeah.
Like, what got you in, and when was that?
Well, growing up with my brother, I guess like both of my brothers had a lot of influence on me. And for me at the beginning, I was more into this sport because I was like skateboarding, even rollerblading. And, you know, I did my first Misty 7 on a rollerblade. On rollerblade, I was probably like 12 or something. I always like to challenge myself, and I always kind of push myself because my brother was around and I was trying to do as good as he was doing. But definitely a lot of this influence came from skateboard magazine and snowboard magazine. And I was like, I want to do the same with my skis, you know. I want to, like, this is possible to do with your skis. Like, at first, it was not really something like the urban and all that. Like, I feel like there was a lot of space to me to progress in this way, to make it look like the snowboarder and, like, as cool as the snowboarder. Because I feel like before, like, see my brother, he changed for the snowboard side. And I almost switched at some point, but then I feel like the feel and all this new movement of free skiing that you guys started was talking to me for sure. And I choose to go in this direction, and definitely like it's been crazy where like the contest scene brought me, but I guess back in the day you didn't have any choice to kind of follow this scene if you wanted to make a living out of skiing. But my always my goal was to like create video part and like street part, and this is where I know I could shine and stuff like that. But definitely a lot of influence by my brothers in this whole like skateboarding scene and snowboarding scene. Yeah.
The big thing I want to say, like, you are the only guy I think, because I always thought of you as a film skier, right?
Yeah.
You had 2 years under your belt already with Union, with 2-Track, and who was the other crew?
Advanced Vision, yeah.
Yeah, so 2-Track and Advanced Vision. You had 2 years there. Then Playhouse brings you under the wing. Then you have 06 and 07 with them. You don't get a major, like, you established yourself in the industry through film. Yeah. And that's kind of why I love to do these shows too, because so many people made accomplishments to get where they need to be to do what they needed, not by winning something. And you did it by being different, you know, in these young years and like finding your own style. And the craziest part is not only did you find your own style, but you were in like the most saturated community of super.
Yeah.
Like you had 2 pros at every hill.
I remember on that note, like my first breakout moment was like at a rail jam in Mammoth. And then I got invited to film with Playhouse Film, and that's kind of where it started, because I was sponsored by Orage, doing like small little contests in Quebec and doing those video part and stuff. And like it's never gonna happen these days, but I got a wild card, because back in the days they were doing wild card for X Game, and I got my first wild card, and it got me in the contest scene because of the Playhouse segment I did in White Shine. And I remember getting a wild card from these video part that kind of got me into the competition side of the sport, and which like today is pretty much impossible to do, because I feel like the film part and all that, doesn't have as much credit, and like it definitely changed. But I'm pretty proud to say that, you know, I got into the contest scene with a wild card from a video part, which is pretty cool to me for sure.
Yeah, so I just want to say, man, big up yourself on creating, because I think that's what everyone should get out of these shows is everyone that was successful in long term created their own way.
Yeah.
No, there's no formula. You didn't do it like
No.
Phil. You didn't do it like
Yeah.
JP, JF, anyone that was before you. And then, but you learned the coolest thing that, like, I'm skipping all over, but like you knew about it, you respected it, and then you like, I don't know, you learned your history, came in, and then fucking made your own. So
Yeah.
big up yourself on all that, man, because that's what I saw of your whole career. I didn't follow
Thank
it
you, man.
hard end, but
Appreciate
I know even with your last film, you gave everyone else more shine that was relevant, was going to be the future, but then made sure the past got their exposure. So many dope things, man. I can go on forever. I'm going to let Phil go because he's got dope ass shit.
Thanks,
that
Iberg.
was high praises and very well deserved. And I would have to big you up also on making it through the contest scene with a video segment. I don't think before it had been done or after it really was done ever. Everybody qualified in competition because of competitive results. So that's unreal achievement. And like your segment is definitely a stamp in the game for it. One thing that's reoccurring with you and that I find like very humbling and humble of you is you always shout out your ancestors. You make sure to give credit where it's due to the people that paved the way. You do it in Never Over. You do it in Hooligan. You did it in real life. You're adamant about telling people who you learned it from. I'm wanting you to talk about the importance of knowing history and who paved the way.
Yeah. I mean, that's always been like when I kind of quit the competition scene, I really wanted to make statement and stuff like that because I feel like skiing brought me so much. It made me evolve as a better human being even, and all this because of the influences I was getting from these people, you know, that for me as a kid, and I was like, these people were my idol, and at some point they became my friend. But I was always so thankful for them to pave this way and show me that it was possible to do it and to kind of live this lifestyle. And it kind of opened my mind to like a full life of experience and so many people I got to meet along the way as well. And feel like when you're kind of going out of this world, you know, I felt like so many people went, like they disappeared so quickly, and to me it was sad. So it was like a never over kind of a way to share this that these people were so inspiring to me, and it's kind of why I was also inspired to do all that kind of stuff and never wanted to give up as well. So it's kind of where it comes from. And still, you know, there's so many people that influenced me in my skiing career and my life in general that came from this world that I'm really thankful for. Definitely, like Iberg is one of them with the crew back in the days, and you, Phil, you know, became such an inspiration over the year. And I mean, I'm so thankful for all these connections that made me who I am, and just learning from all the people that has the passion for this sport and that giving like everything for it pretty much, like, or everything that they've got, you know. So it always was like a really emotional thing for me, definitely, like looking back. But yeah, it's kind of how I can describe it.
I want to add something because I think like one of your big mentors, I might be wrong, you can say I am, but Phil Belanger and D-Structure.
Yeah.
No, like
I mean,
when you have a mentor like this, like he was a first kind of generation, but he's so giving in that generation. So to be able to see that, like a person that had a pro model, and then all of a sudden started a film company, and then wants to put you on. Like, I mean, I remember him talking about you when he's bringing you out to Mount Hood, right?
Yeah.
And all that stuff. So I think like the surroundings you had in Quebec was such givers. I mean, whether it was a Bellinger or a JP, you know, just every person in that community always was giving back. Even first, you could go to area and they were like supporting the new guys at the water ramps. And so like, it's always been, I don't know, Quebec got the dopest scene that I ever seen of support of freestyle.
Definitely.
And, so I don't know, I just wanted to big up Phil structured.
Yeah, I want to big up Phil as well, because he definitely was like a life changer, basically, to giving me all this opportunity, and like it went further with like all the helping out with the sponsorship, and to first make a step into this world, if I can say it this way, like you need some kind of mentor or someone that is giving you the credibility, and like Phil Benninger did it for me big time, and he's still doing it. You know, I'll show up at the shop and he's gonna always help me out. Like we'll always kind of talk about what's going on, and he just stayed like an awesome friend and mentor over the year. And big up to him for always like being there and like supporting this scene as well. And he's still doing it, you know, after so many years. So well put, for sure.
Yeah,
Shout out
to
Phil
see that
Belanger.
because to what you did in that last movie, man, to give all the respect to the past and the future, and
Yeah,
I don't know, Quebec, man, big up Quebec.
hell yeah.
And speaking about mentorship as well, like jumping ahead, we're gonna come back in time because we got so much to cover that you did that we could spend so much hours on. But you have mentored me, for instance. Like I followed you and learned from you a bunch, but nowadays, like you're mentoring like a whole generation. Can you speak like on this transition that you did from being a professional now to being a mentor and coach to a team?
Yeah. So it started up with definitely, you know, you have some moment where you have to decide where you're kind of going. I was 31 and I got really injured in the street. I was still trying to push this direction, but at the same time, you know, you keep asking questions like what's going to be next after skiing, because obviously I want to ski all my life, and I never retired from skiing because it's not something I will ever retire from, really. But I definitely retired from all the competition and sponsor and all that. But yeah, at some point I was 31. I fractured my pelvis and dislocated my hip. That was pretty serious injury. So it kind of pushed me to a new direction. And I went back to school in cinema and lighting and all that. It was like an intense course for like 8 months. But as soon as I finished this, it was really interesting. But I got some opportunity to go back in the scene and start coaching at like a lower level, like sports school and all that back in Quebec in Le Relais. And I was giving this opportunity to start coaching, and I missed the scene. I start like, for me it was kind of the easy transition to do, so I never looked at that way before. So that's why I went back to school first. But then I miss skiing so much, and I accept this decision instead, like going like completely back to zero with the filming thing and like starting with like little job and all this. I was like, well, I can like go in this world and like start coaching and like teaching, or like, you know, just sharing my passion with the kids. And like I kind of at first like this whole program was not like that structure, and I was like, I don't know if I like it really. But then I got the opportunity to coach for the slopestyle Quebec team 3 years ago, and to kind of be the head coach and lead the way. And that was like something I couldn't refuse. And I was going to be able to travel with the team and like keep like sharing this passion, keep being on my skis. And I was like, this is the best thing to do for me mentally, and just to stay healthy with this whole thing, because I was missing skiing so much. I tried to like push skiing away for a year, and I really missed it. I missed like even like going out and like building spot and like trying to challenge myself. And this is where the first year I was coaching, I did the Never Over project. And then I really like after the first year coaching from the slopestyle Quebec team, I really enjoyed it, and like I found a passion for it, and like it was really rewarding to travel with the kids and all those skiers that were also passionate and I like their own style, and just trying to share the good spirit around like free skiing and what like the people were sharing with me, basically like what my mentor were sharing with me. I feel like I was at my place doing that, and I'm still coaching. I kind of retired this year from this, but I'm also coaching private and creating content with this new job. But I was super hyped to get this opportunity, and it was really, for me, it was really mind opening, and I think it teach me a lot about myself and about how much like I still love skiing as much, and this whole passion keeps going. Kind of, it was a way to make it like kind of last forever in a way, and it still is. So
Never over.
Yes.
Well said. Iberg, what you got? We gonna pop back in time and go back maybe in White Shine era when JF
yeah, let's go back because we're all, this is the most all over we've ever been with someone, but it's so fun because who cares, because we haven't talked forever. And the show's for us, man. If you're tuning in, you're super lucky to learn this shit because we got two legends on here that are wicked. My first JF story, and if anyone's watching, I know we're in the middle of the day. I think someone said, can you start doing this at night? We'd love to, but we can't right now. We can one day, we will. But if anyone has a JF story or some way he inspired them, feel free to call in. We do. That's what we try to do too. We've had some people call in, worked out great. But my first meeting of you, it's an epic story because it was like December in 2005, so it was your White Shine year, it was your first Playhouse trip, and Playhouse brought you to Hood, right? And so I was up there with Kai and doing Peterson and doing some stuff at Wendell's, and Phil's came with you. And so like, oh man, he's so good, watch his shit. And like we watched like some of your, and I'm like, oh shit, so he can do crazy urban. So this time I was like, man, I saw this rail for the last 5 years in Hood River. 5 fucking years. And I'm like, do you think you can do it? It's like that has a drop on the side. And the Phil's are like, he can do it. And I'm like, yeah, but it's really gnarly. Like, and so like they're showing it right now. Phil is. And so I just remember like, man, you stepped up to the craziest rail of my life, never met you, brought you over. I mean, I think the cop stopped you 5 times out of 7 attempts and made you just wait. And then you went, and then you came back. And like even how you got iced on it, and then the consequences of the drop, and there's a pole if you fall off, every single thing. So that was my first experience ever. I shot that shot, actually. I think, yeah, I'm pretty sure I did.
Yeah, you did.
And so yeah, my first 16mm shot of you ever, right there, December, fucking 2006, fucking Hood River.
That was
wicked.
I remember this like it was yesterday. I mean, it was so much adrenaline going on, and just being with you guys, I was like, you know, like this is time to shine a little bit, like putting pressure on myself. Like I remember I was so scared to do it, but it was such a nice trail. I was like, this is the kind of stuff I want to do. And even if there was like no snow, it's like so many factors to not do this rail that day. But I mean, like I remember like Phil Larose was there, and it was just like the whole vibe and the whole spirit of this thing, and like the cops being around the corner, kind of giving us like, yeah, like you guys need to leave. And by the time he was leaving, like trying my last shot, and like just this whole pressure, like it was what I was living for back then, kind of, you know. And I mean, I remember like it was such a rewarding feeling to get this shot, and like we can tell when I'm landing this, and just a bunch of I-5, and I was so much on adrenaline. And yeah, it's such a good memory and a good way to meet you as well, because then it wasn't the first time, and I feel like we did a lot after together. And yeah, that was a cool moment, cool memories for sure.
Yeah, wicked one going through fucking shit with myself.
I was just like claiming fucking.
Yeah, that you should. Could have claimed you.
No, it was such a good moment.
It's like a magnet. I said it in the intro. That shot definitely inspired that, and a few others. That shit is insane. And you've been like known to put your body at risk to make it happen. And also you have suffered consequences from these high risk involvement. How is your body now?
It's holding, you know. I don't you know, we're so busy, like life goes, and a lot of work in the office and all that, but I try to always stay active, and my body is holding up. Like definitely that last injury was the worst, and sometime like there's weird like feeling a little bit of like swelling in my leg, but basically like I'm pretty good. Like honestly, like I can still like ski and hit big jumps, and I'm pretty thankful for it. At some point, I after my last injury surgery and like the rehab, I wasn't sure, and even the doctor, if I could take as much impact. But I feel like I've just been going at my pace, and it's a different pace than usual, definitely than it used to be. But the body is still good. I think you just gotta work a little bit for it, work more as we get older. You know, if I want to keep this lifestyle, I just gotta work harder. And but definitely I'm not hitting urban like really anymore. But I'm not gonna like lie, if like next year I get an opportunity to hit a spot that is inspiring to me, I might get on it. You know, I saw Tom Wallace the other day, and he was like, "Oh, like I should come to Quebec," and I was so down to do a spot with him if he was coming, because I miss that stuff for sure. It's crazy.
So one of the other big things like I want to really big you up on is making movies, because as you made your career in competition world, you could have made your money and not spend it on making movies, and not spend your physical body on making movies, and maybe do better at competition. So a really big hats off to you, man, is because when you make movies and put energy behind it, you're really hyping everyone in that movie, you know, no matter what. And everyone hypes each other. The team effort of making sure dopeness happens. So I want to say big up yourself on a time when you could have easily not, let's make film projects that can take me out of my moneymaker and spend all my money on this and body on it. So like big up yourself on that, because there's definitely an easy way out, you know, like when you think, I made it to that point. So congrats, man. I was stoked on watching that in your career.
Thanks,
I
Iberg.
got one more question from Raph before I forget. Going into the film projects, and you can answer whatever before, but like, is there a favorite film project you had that you produced or kind of like were the lead on?
From my project?
Yeah. Anything that you were part of that was your favorite?
I mean, the Hooligan project was definitely my favorite. I put like so much into it, and like you said, like a lot of my own money. Even like this was not to make any money. Like it was just to mostly like make a statement and try to share what was on my mind and how thankful I was from what skiing brought into my life. And Hooligan was my favorite for sure. And I mean that all the shot can tell. You know, I filmed for 2 years for this project, because after 1 year I was not satisfied, and I was like I want to build this bigger. I want to make this bigger, and I also wanted to share a little bit of my story. So that was really like coming out of my comfort zone with like all the voiceover and all that. But I was like, damn, I gotta put something different in there, and like, so it take a lot of energy to do that, and like getting a lot like out of my comfort zone, which brought me a lot like from the ski industry, just like presenting this movie and all the like people like giving me like props and all this like from the ski industry. I think this was something I was kind of looking for, but I was doing it mostly for myself, just kind of being angry about like competing for so many years and not being able to really show how I can shine on my skis. You know, like it was something I really wanted to make happen. So Hooligan, with everything that took out from me, like was definitely the project I'm the most proud of to this day, for sure.
Jewelry can say many things on your wedding day. As a wedding band, it can say, "This is a forever symbol of our forever love." As a gift to your wedding party, it can say, "Thanks for standing up there with us." Blue Nile can help you find the piece that says it all and says it beautifully, with expert guidance and a wide assortment of jewelry of the highest quality at the best price. Go to BlueNile.com and experience the convenience of shopping Blue Nile, the original online jeweler since 1999. That's BlueNile.com.
Ryan Reynolds here from Mint Mobile. With the price of just about everything going up during inflation, we thought we'd bring our prices down. So to help us, we brought in a reverse auctioneer, which is apparently a thing.
Mint Mobile Unlimited Premium Wireless. How to get 30, 30, bit to get 30, bit to get 20, 20, 20, bit to get 20, 20, bit to get 15, 15, 15, 15, just $15 a month? Sold! Give it a try at mintmobile.com/switch.
$45 up front for 3 months plus taxes and fees. Promo rate for new customers for limited time. Unlimited more than 40 gigabytes per month. Slows full terms at mintmobile.com.
I'm
I
gonna
would second that.
All stoked on that one the most too.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, that's my favorite project of yours as well. But also to bounce back in time, I think one of your most groundbreaking work was in Schematic.
Yeah.
That is kind of when you took things to another level and sort of shattered the conception of what could be done in the street. And also you got your level up in the backcountry. Can you talk about that JF Houle era?
Yeah. I mean, Schematic was definitely, even if I didn't, like, it was all new for me, like filming with, like for a kind of a big budget, like a professional, like movie, like people were, like you guys were filming me with a 16, like urban, like that was pretty wild to me. Like it was not like digital or anything. So it put like a crazy pressure, but this whole like, I think we went to Europe for a while and it was a lot of new stuff, like even getting into the backcountry. Like I remember like landing Switch and like coming out in like such a different world than I was used to, but I had so much motivation for just having this opportunity to be fully on the program with Playhouse Film and like having the chance to create my full segment. It was just like so thankful for this opportunity and still, and like at the end I kind of realized like at the ski premiere of Schematic and like Le Relais, all people were stoked on my skiing, and like it definitely put back like a lot of confidence in my skiing, and like seeing that and like seeing all people were stoked and what I was able to accomplish was such a huge accomplishment for me. And Schematic was definitely, I know, game changer for my career. And it like just kind of, I filmed a little bit the year before for White Shine, which was giving me the wild card for the competition vibe and all that. But like the filming part was always where I could shine, and like I could, get so many tries to get the shot the way I wanted. If my style was not proper, I will just eye back this rail for so many times, and learning from the best as well, like being with like Phil Belanger, like Iberg and all you guys, like it was, and like getting to know so many like sick writer that I was looking for back in the days, and like being able to connect with them, and like it was such a huge opportunity, like going to California for the first time. I think like I stayed with you in Mammoth, pretty sure, or
I'm at Mammoth. Sorry to interrupt you, but it's like, was it the Jam or was it when you had a suit and were with Rosignol for the Raj event?
I was it was like, I remember going there to film for like in Alpine Meadow, but then I'm not sure when I was staying with you, like if it was during the Rel Jam, because I went a bunch of time in Mammoth. Like this place was so legendary, and it still is to me. Every time I go back there, so many like memories are popping. But yeah, that was all so new to me, and like it was like so many like memories that are like there and like gonna be there forever, and thankful for it for sure.
I guess my point was 2006, like because I remember you're on the suit team with Rosignol, so you're with Candide.
Yeah.
So I was just thinking in 1 year, like how gnarly your life went. 16 millimeter film, Playhouse, Rosignol, international pro team, right beside Candide Thovex, who was the legend with your idols and was still the legend, and now you're like the teammate, so you're equal.
Yeah.
Like I don't know, like how old were you in 2006?
2006. I was probably like, I don't know, 21.
What was it like for you, other than just pure fucking awesomeness? Is it a blur because it was so awesome?
I mean, I remember like skiing and being in the same team as Candide for the Raj Master, and that was mind blowing for me. Like I was just like, what? Like, where did my like? This is crazy, you know, being with the most like legendary skier, and like remember like sharing a house at the X game with Candide and all this era was like a pure dream, like and pure happiness for sure. Like it was mind blowing to me, and I feel like all these moments is why I'm so thankful for this career and like everything that happened along the way. Like it was definitely so many crazy dreams that were happening so quick because of skiing, and yeah, insane.
Speaking of Candide, here is a clip of you, or they just popped to another person, but
yeah,
a clip of you at the Candide Invitational hitting the big Bertha like a maniac. Talk about that one, man.
Yeah. Yeah, that was also one of like breaking moment for me, definitely. I remember standing on top. It was really, really gray out, like pretty much like you're not going to drop when it's that shitty out, but
it was the worst visibility ever.
Yeah, I remember you were down there filming with the 16 and like so many people. Like this event was just, to be able to go to this event was just like mind blowing. Like that was another dream for sure. And it was so scary. Like you will go like 100 kilometer into that jump like so fast, even probably faster. And like they don't build jump like that. Like it was like the biggest step down of my life. Like you just stand on the takeoff. And if you fall down the takeoff, you're going to hurt yourself. Like it was probably 35 foot high, like 40 foot high. And you had so much distance to clear before you even touch the sweet spot. And I remember Simon Dumont was on top by my side. And he was like, wow, it's really like shitty weather. Like, I don't think we should drop. But I had so much adrenaline going that I decided to drop anyway, like for the Bio 9, but I was actually going for a Bio 7. When I tweaked my mute, it kind of accelerate my rotation a little bit, and I had to save it to 9. And I remember that day, like the big David Bouvier, the big team manager from Rossignol back then, like came to me. It was like, oh, like this is your next poster, and like you're getting on the team. And it was like it was such a also like a big breakout moment for me, because it just this one jump gave me so much credibility, and it was just kind of me going hooligan again. I was like, fuck the weather, like I'm good, like I'm gonna stump this. And like it was, I remember like putting my like throwing my pole away and like just sitting down with some Frenchie there, and I was like, I'm done. Like this was like so heart pumping like kind of stuff. And yeah, and then the team manager like giving me so many props, and like I got like my first poster with Rossignol back then, and I don't know, it was mind blowing for sure. Such a unique memory, definitely.
And they added a superhero character in the sequence of your 9, which was more epic. One of the Incredibles or something posing like shit was insane.
Yeah,
Emile Bergeron, who we all have in common, has the poster in his room.
Yeah, I remember even like at some point Nick Gepper, like later in my career, was like, man, I used to have this poster in my room, and I was like, wow, like that's so cool. Like so many people I think look up to that, you know, to that kind of stuff. Like it was so big, and just I feel like photo sequence are so sick, and it's what I was really like hyped for back in the days. It was like a lot in the snowboard magazine, but I think like photo sequence were so dope.
If you're a kid right now, do you have any images of your favorite skier on the wall? And if you did, where did they
come? My favorite skier, I guess, back in the days, like on my agenda, like for school, like it was all like a photo collage of Tanner Hall. like Tanner was like with the switch 7 blunt back then, like going switch into a jump, and like all like his segment in the 1242, right? Like the Oakley movie back then. Like this, I will watch that every time I before I go to school. Like Tanner was the biggest inspiration. Like with the Oakley shade, like the crazy hair. Like I can just picture that in my head. Like that was so much inspiration. And he was also doing urban. Like his style was so on point. He was on Rossignol as well. So there was so many factors that like Tanner influenced me so much, and just his lifestyle and the way like he was kind of so untouchable back then. And I mean, then he became a friend, you know. But and that was also mind blowing to just be able to hang out with Tanner, and like I got so much respect for him, and like still today, like skiing, like X game real, and like doing urban. Like I mean, Tanner was the man and still is, like, but he was definitely like the biggest inspiration back then. And then if I get to pick a second one, will be Candide. Like Candide was just, I don't know, with the Dynastar and like the pro model, like the old hype he has, and like how big he will go. Like I always look up to that kind of skier that goes like really big, and so much respect for those two, definitely. Yeah.
When did you first hear about JF Houle? Did you first hear it in real life or video or what?
Yeah, to go back to the poster thing, great question, Iberg. I want to shout you out on that. That's like a good pull-up. And first time I ever saw JF, he was like my Quebec amateur idol. So you had like all the Quebec professional, Belanger, JP Auclair, JF Houle, the top dogs, Canadian Air Force, and then you had like JF Houle, Phil Warren, Dom Légaré, the people of the younger generation. So I showed up at this contest, Côte Obscure and Tremblant, and it was JF against Dom Légaré in finals, and I was like rooting for JF to win. Unfortunately, he didn't win, but Dom, shout out to Dom because he killed it. But that's when I first saw JF, and I was definitely idolizing him over everybody else.
So he was your guy, but did you know about him before that event?
Yeah, I don't know where I heard of him before, but there was something for me to be a fan of him. But when I saw him in real life, it changed everything. It was like, oh, he's real, like Switch 9. Oh, shit.
Oh, yeah. That was good old time for sure. My D-Dog.
Big thing. And you, like... you did like dominate Contest World, Do Tour champ, X Game champ, US Open champ. But as you said, your love has always been in the media side of things. And maybe you could correct me if I'm wrong, but the first award you ever got for a media feature was in 2012, the Powder Award.
Yeah.
For a trick on in After Dark.
Yeah.
Can you talk about this feature right here, man? We looked at jumping in a wall.
That was like, yeah, definitely. I've seen I pretty much got inspired by this spot from like snowboarders because they always were a bit ahead of us. And I was just like hitting this spot, like the in run before this spot. It was like so many things that you didn't want it to really hit this thing switch, but I like we figured it out, you know. Like I think the end run was bungee pull, which made it really difficult to like swap to switch because I couldn't hang on a bungee switch. Like I could never do that. And there was a lot of factor because it was easy to miss the wall. Like the wall was super tiny, and the transition before even like going into it was like a legit jump, so you will lose a lot of speed, so you will need a lot of speed to get into this wall. And I remember doing this trip with Drew Lederer, who was the filmer for that trip that Level 1 sent. And I mean, there was so many factor and like such a hard working spot because the landing, I'm pretty sure we did the landing with like a snowplow. Like we brought a snowplow into the city and we start or I don't know if it was all shoveling, but I remember like it was so many factor that I don't even know why I like tried to hit that thing switch. But now, I mean, afterward, you're like, oh yeah, like it worked out, and like I tried to do it better, like land higher, and I couldn't like do it more proper than this. But it was it was really scary going into this thing switch, and just like seeing this gap between the wall, and also doing it at night was kind of super difficult because obviously you don't light up your end run really, and like it was so dark and like people pulling the bungee. I remember not doing it that many times, but it was a lot of hard impact as well when you miss the sweet spot for the tranny or the wall ride correctly. And I was so stoked I got away with the switch to Sev. Like I couldn't have dreamed of a better tricks to do on it. And yeah, it was really technical and like big and everything. So super hyped on that shot. Still like today, I think it's a lot of people will like go to this spot and like talk to me after. Like people coming from all over the place. They were like, "Damn, I can't believe you switched to that thing." And I'm like, "Yeah, man. Like you don't even know like." Mentally, where I went through to get that clip, like you kind of know, B Dog, like you've been like doing a lot of scary shit and like big tricks into it. But when it's a mix of like big and scary with technical, it's really hard. But we made it happen. That was always like I will fight until I get injured. Like I will want that shot so bad, and like the filmer are there, and like if the goal, that's the goal I set to myself, I'll fight until I'm injured, like until I can't walk away from the spot. That's kind of how I see it back then. And fortunately, it didn't happen too many times that I didn't walk away from a spot, but it did happen to put myself there. And it's kind of always kind of how I see it. Like definitely full commitment and like passion. It all will always drive this career for me. Definitely.
You've been always my most favorite angry skier. From the water ramp to the snow. I was telling Phil, I think you have the record for most broken helmets at the water ramps.
Yeah.
Skis.
Poles.
I mean, it's passion, and it goes to follow through, and you have to find it some way to dig deep enough. Because you guys already have a different pain threshold than everyone, but then it's not just about being able to do pain. It's and you got to envision stuff. You're like dreaming about it, like visualizing, and then like turning off pain and then executing the variable. So it's just like, I don't know. It was just fun because I think you were the only person I've ever met in my life in skiing that really dealt with it with that much anger. You know, and like, so I saw it, but it was always you always were able to channel it since day one when I met you. Like I never saw it where it was like, okay, that's a distraction from himself or whatever else is going on. I don't know. It's just that's something that's very unique to you. It's the lane that you created. We've seen it in skateboarding. Of them. Yeah. You know, and like we've seen it in snowboarding, but for some reason, I think you're the only one skiing. So. Yeah.
For me, like you said, it was a way to channel this energy in some way, and like I think it was always like, it's been always anger about myself, not being able to do it the way I wanted, and like having to walk back up, because I know I will always walk back up until I can't even walk back up. So I was just like, I guess this anger will come from so much, I guess, of the emotion or like pressure I will put on myself to get the tricks and the thing I wanted to do, the thing I like, the way I pictured it. And but I was, it kind of always helped me, and like more I grew up, I was trying to like push this away, but it will always come back in different kind of way. But it always helped me to push myself, and it was always a weird, when you don't know me, you're like, whoa, this guy is like pretty nuts or something, like he doesn't like what he's doing. But I was always loved what I was doing. It was just a way for me to, I guess, like you said, channel this energy and let it out. Something.
I on that same Côte Obscure event where I saw JF in person for the first time, the next day he's skiing in the pipe, and my father and I on top of the pipe, and JF like crashes on a cork 5. starts smacking his poles together like a maniac. My father's like, what is wrong with him? And I'm like, oh my, no idea that. But
Yeah.
you always channeled it so well. And I remember, like, through your competitive winning, you always were having a pretty rough day before the winning happened.
Yeah.
You were like having a tough fucking day. And that was kind of your way to win.
Yeah. I don't think I remember one contest that went well that I didn't lose my shit completely. Like, I didn't, like, it's like, even when it happened, I'm like, fuck this, you know? Like, I'm not here to, like, I was like, I just want to ski, you know? And then when it was go time, like, it was like all this energy and, like, just not caring anymore, just being like, ah. And it was working somehow. Like, I was able to put a run down. Like, it was clean and it was paying off. Like, it always blew my mind. And that kind of teach me, well, like, maybe this is not bad for me. Like, it's kind of a way for me to make it happen. Like I remember, like, WSI, like, I was on top. Like, when I won, like, the only WSI I did good, like, it was such a shitty training, like, nothing. And I just guessed a trick that I never really, like, was good at landing. Like, I think I'd done it, like, a couple times, but I went for the Bio 10 mute and, like, went really, really big. And, like, things worked out. Like, it was the same at the X game when I won in Europe. Like, I was having a really, really tough week even. And I like, at that point, never believed I could won X game. And it's just like, there's a switch that was flipping. And when it was, like, contest time and time to do my run, and I put myself in this mental state of mind, I was able to do crazy things. So it worked like that. Crazy.
Are you still, to this day, now that you work with kids, like, does it change your mindset because you have to, like, be so positive as a coach?
Yeah, this is where I learn a lot. You know, when I say, like, the past 3 years taught me a lot about myself, it was more to you know, like, obviously when you coach, you can't be the angry coach. And, like, so when I will get emotive, like, or emotion, like, tricky situation with an athlete or stuff like that, I definitely had to deal it with some other kind of mentality and, like, other aspect, and try to, you know, I was just bringing a lot of hype and, like, commitment into my coaching, where, you know, I was dedicated to teach it the best way and, like, always, like, do it like, try to help the kids, like, with everything I've got. And, like, that's kind of how I channel this energy. And, like, I will not, like, get mad or anything. Definitely there was some situation where, you know, this anger could come back, but it was really, like, I dealt with it in, like, other different way, if I can say. But yeah, it changed. Definitely things evolved, but I still get this drive. You know, it helps me to drive my life. This, like, little anger. Definitely, I don't show it as much. And I was trying to teach the kid when it was happening to some of my athletes, because there was definitely, I could see some resemblance where I get, like, an emotional athlete and he was dealing with this stuff. I was really good to help him with that. And I was like, you know, don't waste your time in this dark zone. Like, try to use all this energy back, and, like, you will get the trick, you know, like, you will get the access you want, or, like, so that's kind of how it turned to a really good thing for me. And, like, I was able to help a lot of the boys on the team and girls even that will get, like, in this anger state of mind. I was just like, don't try to waste your time in this state of mind, you know, because I remember I will waste so much time, like, hitting on myself with words, and, like, not, like, completely hitting on myself, but sometimes I'll almost do it, you know, like, smashing my helmet, and, like, but I was like, I learned with my experience that I could use this energy to just go back and focus and do the thing I want to do, and that the thing that I love. And this is kind of where I was able to teach the kid, like, this way. and I think it was helping a lot too. So yeah,
Be pretty wicked if you just like got ski poles and like smacked them on top of the helmet. And then
you fucking can do it better.
you let your aggression out, and then your student doesn't do it again. Quit cheating on yourself. Just have like some kind of pole that would break so it looks like you're angrier than you are. And then everyone's like, oh shit, Houle angry again. And then your next guy comes into the gate and he doesn't want to make Houle angry. So what does he do? He fucking wins.
That's a way to see it, you know. Gotta ask the athletes if that works for them, but
it could be a whole show to intimidate. You know, like all those other provinces.
Yeah.
They'd be like, holy shit.
Maybe it happened. I don't even know.
Their coaches would look weak.
Yeah. But yeah, such a learning experience with everything. That's the beauty of like growing up and learning from those kind of situations for sure.
What do you got, Phil? We got movies,
I think it's a great idea. I want to see that happen. The fictional JF smacking kids on the head with the poles and breaking them.
That's all I heard the whole time he was telling me the love he spent. And I was like, man, he's still got a little bit in his heart. That's how we get the job done. He's doing whatever he's doing when he's hanging out, being a little angry. Come on, kids. They know, man, you're holding it in.
Oh yeah, I'm sure. They know me. They've watched my movies.
We're great.
Yeah.
I guess, on that regard, too, of JF mentoring, like you have hosted your event in Stoneyham with your brother, who's park shaper there. Shout out to Nick Houle.
Yeah, brother.
A few years in a row, and you've put on lesser-known skier and very well-known skiers and snowboarders to come access this terrain and film in a stress-free environment. Can you talk about making that event happen?
Yeah. And I want to bring back this event at some point. It kind of, when the COVID happened, I was really going for like, I'm going to bring this every year. And like, I don't know, I feel like I had the opportunity with my brother being like a park builder in Stoneham, and he was such a big mentor for me, like at the beginning and my whole career, where, you know, he teach me like this whole like tree like lifestyle and like the skateboard scene and all that. But yeah, like doing this park shoot for me always was so important back then, and I still want to bring it back at some point. But I will put so much into it and like work so hard to make it happen the way I was seeing it. And like for me, I guess I was a lot inspired by all the park shoot I've been, and I was lucky to go to, like in California, or like the biggest one was the Candid Invitational, building all those big feature, and then I got the chance to go to the OD9 or whatever, the 9 night it was called back then, with Nico Zadzek, and all these events was so inspiring to me, and I was like, man, like we can make stuff like that in Quebec. And I was like, I'm gonna try to make it as like the Quebec way, you know, with rails and like stuff like that. I think it first started with just like a big hit. Like I just wanted to go big and like do a big feature in Quebec. And it was the first time for me and my brother even like building like such like big feature, and like trying to read like a good transition, like trying to figure out like the right speed. And I think this whole process like was so sick to me, like to just like build your own feature and then write it. Like I don't know, I feel like it was a chance that I have, and then obviously if I was doing it, I couldn't just do it for myself. And so after like a year, 2 years, 3 years, I think we built this. We hired Today's Park, and like, which is building like a park. Like there are like park builder in Quebec, and like they build like really dope features. So they kind of help us out with like building a more like nice looking like park shoot, like with a decent like crazy hip and like a big jump. It was like the biggest, probably one of the biggest jump there was in Stoneham, maybe with the World Cup in the other slope, but in this slope it was like the biggest jump there was ever been in Stoneham, and I was really, really proud to make this happen. And like to get to guinea pig the jump was also something I was looking forward to, even if it was scary. I just love putting myself in those kind of situations where I get to test my own jump. Like to me, this was like kind of a dream to make happen, like to just have my own park shoot. And at some point I will do this park shoot and like try to have sponsor to support it, but it was good to do it properly, so I'll like invest my own money at the end, like to make it happen, and like pay a little salary to my brother who was building this, like, and just the risk involving in creating this park shoot. I think that's what I liked about it, even. And to get everyone in Quebec together to film and like create some content was something I was really proud of as well. So I'm hoping to make this thing come back like in the future, even for the younger generation. I feel like these kind of things are lacking, and it will be so sick to like find some support and like make this thing happen, like even under like a camp or something. Like even if it was I'm thinking of like maybe eventually kind of making a camp and like a park shoot so people can come and can bring some team and whatever, and like just create a sick shoot, like a sick sunrise, a night shoot or something special, just to keep this thing going. You know, I think it's so important for the sport to have a place like that where you can really express yourself with your skis and show what you're able to do. And so many kids in Quebec, they don't get the chance to hit like big jump in like nice slushy condition so they can push their limit and like push the sport. And that was the reason I was doing it. Like also, like I had this idea where I really wanted to do a triple before I end my competitive career and all this, and I never got to do it. But I remember being at the water ramp with Chris Turpin and like working on the triple, like it was like 2000, I don't know, 12 or 7, I don't remember, but I got like I think it was like during D-Splash in like probably 2010. But I was like doing triples on the ramp, like on the double, like super kicky jump. But I just for my peace of mind, I not even competition wise, I just wanted to do a triple, and I was building this kind of jump to eventually do one. But I remember that year, good friend of us, like B-Paul, got injured on that jump, and it changed the thing. Like I was like, whoa, like this shit's scary. Like he got injured pretty bad, like early in the morning, like on the knuckle. It was like really icy. So I feel like that year kind of, you know, I didn't have any point to prove myself in that era, and I was just like, well, I'll just keep doing my urban stuff, and like I don't need to do a triple today, like it's pointless. And but somehow, like before that, like I was really hyped to like just fucking land one before my kind of competitive career was over and all that. But I never did, which I don't have any regret about that. I don't think it, like I'm so proud of everything else I have accomplished, and it wasn't like a big deal, but it kind of was my mindset behind like this whole like park shoot, building big jump, big feature, but also to just being able to have like a big jump in Quebec was something really cool to me.
So with the right park jump at Stoneham in the future, could you have
if I could do a triple
at Stoneham in the future if the right jump was made?
If not, I will never put myself into a mental state of mind where I need to do a triple on snow. I kind of passed that, but I'll definitely be hungry for a little dub 10 or something.
All right.
And I'll tell the kids I'm working with now to do the triple for me. And they could, so.
I mean, you got maximum airbag thing you can go practice.
Yeah.
That's not going to hurt like the water ramps.
No, that's for sure. I mean, that's if I could really, if I really will want to set my mind to it, I'm sure I can like go back and work on this goal and make it happen. Probably, like I still have this mindset where I will be really proud, but there's just so many things going on now in life that I gotta make smarter decisions than I used to be, than I used to do. But yeah. You know.
I do as well.
Yeah, you feel no.
There's some more to keep going for sure, but also we want to be mindful of your time and also mindful of we're trying to respect the hour. What do you say, Iberg?
I'm saying for sure, if anyone wants to call in, they got any stories about JF, how he's inspired them, call in. I can accept you. I'm learning how to do that. If you got any questions you want to take down, we can do that because we have enough shit to go for a while, so we'll leave it open. And I'll let Phil pull some archive shit that he's beyond stuff on. But
I mean, meanwhile, you people call in, just like call in, people, give some thanks to JF. But one thing you did that was fucking huge late in your career, like the real ski first event happened, and you were invited, and you went all the fuck in for this event. Talk about like in your mindset at that point, basically coming to a career end, you still like gave your best and put the work in to have a segment that is one of your best yet.
Yeah, I'm that I was able to put with Paul Bergeron, with B-Paul, and so many friends that helped along the way, Marco, and I mean, I'm sure I'm forgetting some, but you know, you gotta have a sick crew, like a crew of friends to me, to like being able to build such a segment in like such a quick period of time. But I was so stoked that the X Games were doing it like for the first year, and I was invited to compete in the urban like street like real thing for X Game. Like that was mind blowing for me, and I was so excited. And I told myself like, this is the kind of opportunity that the Hooligan movie like give me the credibility to get invited there. And like I was like, I'm gonna give like everything I got, because I know it was like probably like soon to be one of the last like street segment that I will really put everything on the line for. And like it's what I did. Like I wanted to win, and I like in my what's up ABM, but yeah, I wanted to win so bad, but in my head, and like I did everything I could, and it was not even about winning, even like it was just about putting the best segment out that I could possibly see in my head, and like do all the spot and like the things I dream of doing in the street. It was the best reason to do it, and like to send it like 100%. And it was such a crazy mission. Like if you ask me if it was fun, it's hard to tell you guys that it was fun. Like it was more like such a crazy mission. Like I know ABM and Phil has been through this contest, and like with the short period of time, like it's so intense, and like the pressure you put on yourself. And I know Cam Riley and like Clayton Villa, like Will Wesson, like I remember Tom Wallace. I know it was like so many good skiers in that contest, and I was like, man, like Cam Riley, I was like looking for what Cam was doing, because he was doing like the scariest stuff in the urban environment, and I was like, well, I gotta push this thing to a new level. And just like this huge rail that was at a school like that, I will ride on the roof and get onto that sex change, like doing a two in, 2-7 out, was such a dreamy feature. I remember like one of my snowboarder friend J Dub showed it to me on a picture like a couple years before, and we were laughing. Like we were like, imagine if we could do that one day. And I was like, during ATM Reel, like 2 or 3 years after, like he showed me that picture, like I called him and I was like, man, I want to do this trail. Like I want to try it out. And we went with the snowboard crew that year. We built a setup. Like it was pretty big landing to build, to be able to make this happen on like it was an insane drop to flat basically. So you had to put some love into it. And we brought the snowplow. Like we were like a big crew working on the landing, and it was really hard to do this spot and not get caught, because it was at a school like kind of always open. It was in a neighborhood where there was a lot of people watching. So we decided to do it. I think it was January 2nd while everything was kind of closed. And I remember going first, and the rail was actually so nice, and it was not like that crazy to ride, actually. Like, it was proper with the landing we did, but it was just a factor that if something go bad, like, obviously, like, it was really scary for that. But then I got a 270 out, and then B Mile went for a 450 out, and I was like stoked for him, super stoked for B Mile because he was pushing myself. But then I told myself, man, you can't burn me on that spot. Like, I'm filming for X Game Reel. Like, I got to do something else. And I remember Frank Bourgeois, who was a snowboarder that did a lot of X Game Reel. And, like, he's such a beast, like, getting a lot of inspo from Frank. And shout out to Frank for all the inspiration he brought me, like, that year and, like, over the year while he was doing street. But he told me, he was like, man, you will you not do like a 2.7 on it? And I'll need to think about it. I didn't say it because it's like when you say it, you have to do it. So I didn't say it, but when he said it to me, I look at B Mile, I was like, you think it's possible? And they were like, both like, yeah, man, I mean, it's fucked up, but it's probably doable. I was like, fuck, okay, like, so stressed, like, I did two ladder to go on top of the roof. I tried it one time, like, got it a bit sketchy, like, didn't land it, but it was so blind, and like I had to do it so quick. And I got it second try, and like I remember didn't liking, like, one of my leg was kind of separating from the other, but I was just like, man, this shit's so scary. And the way I landed it, switch, and like the whole shot was like so nice, and I was like, that's it, you know. I think we were done by 12. All the two snowboarders, Jay and Frank, had a shot on it. Me and B Mile, like, it was such a legendary session. And I will remember this session my whole life. Like, we were drinking beer at 12, and the day was over with like one of the, and I got a Potter, I think best jib at the Potter Award that year for that. And I think like the star lined up while I was filming for X Game Reel, and I did not get injured. Like, we did this big bridge. ABM was there, and like I remember like telling ABM like the rail to drop at the dam, sorry. And I remember the night before telling ABM, man, this shit's so scary, like man. And ABM was filming with us, like he was getting some really dope like content. I was like, man, you should do that fucking contest, like not me. Like I was like getting older, and like my mental was fucking with me. I was like, there's so much risk involved. And like I remember like not sleeping so well before this dam bridge that we can see right now. And everything went smooth. Like, it was not like the tranny, like everything went all right, but like, I don't know, it's like you build up so much pressure into that thing. And like it was wild, man. It was like a wild like trip for 2 months for sure. And like, thanks ABM for being there. Even like you guys were pushing my ass for sure.
Wicked, man. Wicked.
Thank you.
Look at this crew. Look at this fucking crew, man.
That's dope, man.
I haven't seen you for a long time, Alex Almeyer.
Watching, and like, yo, JF Houle, man, mad respect. Thank you for like being an inspiration. You know, I had that poster when I was 12-year-old. You know, talking about earlier, the Candied. It's like I had that plastered on my wall. I still have it. And like, you know, I remember I gave that to you too. I made a drawing when I was in high school, art class, of like somebody that inspires you, and it was JF Houle. And like, big ups for not just being an inspiration, but also being a great mentor, and like, you know, skiing with me as an early kid, and like all these things you said about JF going crazy and stuff. Like it was crazy to see when I was a little kid, but like he just, you know, mentored me in such a good way, and I learned so much from skiing with him. Thank you so much, JF, for everything you've brought to the Quebec skiing.
Damn, thanks, man. ABM means a lot coming from you, bro. And damn, I miss you. It's good to see you right now, man. It's been a while. Thanks for being out here.
Yeah, man. Good seeing you for sure. Been like a decade or so. Crazy.
Yeah, and you came in with the exact type of vibe that we're looking for, and giving flowers. You gave the man his flowers.
Thank you guys, man. Means a lot.
For JF Houle, man. I remember all those crazy memories in the streets. It was sick to see you men push so hard, and inspired me, I think, to push harder. And it was cool to see, like, just when you were saying, like, when it, like, you know, everybody's pushing each other and stuff when we're together. It's just that's what we want. Like, that the vibe all about. That's what free skiing's all about.
Definitely, man. That's how we make all this magic happen. You know, like we gotta have the right crew and like the good friend around for sure that push each other, and like that's kind of always how it worked out for me. So yeah, man. And you've been part of this as well, and you too, Phil, and all of you guys. Like it's sick to be able to share all those good memories today with you guys. Really thankful for it.
Back 3 out of 4 images on this screen, man. So many generations going on right now. Joke. We need to go to like Quebec and just fucking go nuts. Go to
Make some project happen. Definitely.
Well, we got ABM. We got another call, and then I'm gonna hit this person up, man. But dude, thanks so much for calling in. I'm fucking stoked on that.
Thank you, man.
Yeah, you're the fucking man.
Yeah.
Thank you guys, man.
Thanks, Eric and Phil, for doing this. Peace out.
Yes, sir, boys. Thanks for doing it. It's much appreciated.
JF, you stay on.
JF.
Yeah. I'm not out. I'm staying.
Oh
yeah.
No, dude. Maybe ABM gotta quit it. Oh, I guess that person disappeared. But it is
a cool appearance.
ABM,
yeah, go pull up.
Oh yeah, ABM.
For another guest here. You got someone else jumping in, Iberg?
No, I lied. They disappeared. I had the little one circle on the plus sign camera, and then I pushed it and said no request.
Damn.
Maybe they got
good.
But if anyone wants to call, we got only a couple minutes left. Want to give JF some flowers? I hope he is, because he is. But if Phil probably has one, do you got another thing you really want to get into, Phil? Because I know we have 10 hours.
I guess like one thing that's there was 2 more things. I guess I'll go for the more positive one. But your family has been like monumental and instrumental to your success, and like Nick and your father Claude has shown up to spots to help you build and just like make shit happen. Talk about that father-son complicity and him really unlocking dreams for you or helping to him.
That's good things that that's cool you're bringing that up. Definitely will not have been the same without the help of the family. Definitely I'm lucky for that, and like my dad was always like ready to build me a dropping ramp or like come to a spot and like figure out a way to make it work like when I couldn't. Like, I remember my dad would come, like, he came for, like, a full week while I was filming for Hooligan in this old building where I was doing wall ride and all kinds of feature in my Hooligan movie. I think Beeple was there with us to film with Marco. And we spent, like, 8 days in this old building full of graffiti. And my dad came in, like, pushed some landing with us, and like the first plan why he came, like, was I wanted him to like build a fake wall so I can do like a wall ride in the building that didn't exist, but I wanted to like build a wooden wall and like do some graffiti on it, like put some shit and my dad was willing to build a wall for me, and like, but when we got there was so many factors that we didn't do that, but he helped me so much. And like the last time he helped me out was in Drummondville for a spot in my X Game Real ski segment the first year, and he was able to like, because I was like doing a wall ride on a fence, and we kind of like the fence was too soft, so we had to like build some like reinforcement so that the fence wouldn't like push me out the landing every time, and like so I can not have like sketchy situation. And like he changed that, like he helped me so much through all my career, and like was so down with all my crazy idea. And definitely when you have your dad like backing you on like all those crazy idea, and when he really show to the spot, like even in, yeah, that's the fence I was talking about. So those two poles in the middle, we put them there and like we paint them like silver so you don't really realize. But it was the only way to make the spot happen. Like this spot to me was so sick. But yeah, I mean, I will do anything I could to get the shot I wanted, like the way I wanted. My dad was supportive, and my friend, like my brother as well, like always was down to like come help for like a landing at night before we go edit in the next day. And even like here, like building this backyard, you know, and in my at my house was a little dream, and my brother like helped me out, you know, like during the winter I can just go out my door and hit some rails, and I have a rope tow, and like my brother helped me out a lot, like my whole family, both my brother and dad, like helped me out to make this new little dream happen. Like that's also something I'm super proud of, and just to keep it going for me, I just always want to go out and slide some rails, you know, like that's kind of, it makes me happy and makes me in my zone where I'm proud and I can always keep those little skill growing a little bit. And yeah, thankful for it. Thankful for the family for sure.
Good families are awesome.
Yeah.
We do have, it looks like another caller. Cancel. Invite. I don't need to invite. Hit that button, then I hit accept. You may know him. You may not. I know him. Let's see if he still exists. You know him. I know him. Accept. Now it should go boom bomb, and he should come in like last time. Oh man! All right, this last chance. Oh no, it looks like he disappeared. He no longer on it. He must have got sick of waiting. So I don't know him no more.
Oh, we haven't.
Oh
yeah, of course I know him.
Yo, what going on, brother?
Yo, what's up, Jacob? How are you?
Yo, man, been good, dude. How you been, King?
Been good, man. Just living my best life and still traveling, still around skiing a lot and loving it.
Yeah, man, I've been really vibing the yard vibes, man. Your yard is a dream come true.
Thank you, man. If you ever come by Quebec or any chance, you're welcome, brother. And definitely stoked on the yard. Little dream that I was stoked to make happen and just to keep this thing going, you know?
Yeah, man. I grew up skiing in my yard, so I'm a big fan of it. And I saw yours, and I was like, damn, he's got one of the most best all-time yards. Dude, it's right there with Hot Beats.
Thanks for that, man. I appreciate it. Yeah. A lot of hard work again, but
I've been checking all your content and shit, and I was telling High Grade, you know, the Never Over was super sick, brother, and I want to hail you up on that. Like, mad respect, mad love for all the Quebec skiers out there. We love you guys. Minnesota represents Quebec same way, you know the vibes.
Thanks, man. Yeah, Never Over was just, I really, like, I've done this hooligan thing where I was trying to bring back some, like, of my influence and just, like, growing up a little more, like, for me, it was this generation that I wanted people to know about. It was basically the generation a bit after, like, the Phil and those guys with Alexi and Vincent and Charles. Like, Charles was such an like, he was so inspiring for me. Like, he helped me to become the skier and I am today. And like, Charles brought so much thing into the sport, and Vinny and you know, Alexi, Phil, that I kind of focused on this movie. But there was so many other subjects that I wish if I had the time I wanted to bring in this movie, like Frank Raymond, who was doing Urban, brother of Maud Raymond. He was such an inspiration for me, and like I never had time, like in the resource to like talk about Frank. But yeah, this movie was to shoot out all this era, and even like GP inspired me with the last segment where I was just like trying to go in my own city and like do a full run like he did, like in a legendary segment.
Felt like it definitely had a bit of that tribute to JP in there and the way it was shot, you know, and that segment he did in Trail BC or whatever. But I loved it, man. I loved the film, dude. It really,
Thanks.
you know, your bangers at the end, dude. It was super cool, you know, and seeing you coming back from injuries and problems and still loving the sport, you know, that's one of the biggest things, you know. I'm coming off ACL this year, and I love seeing the OGs and the ones who hold it down. So, mad
Definitely.
respect.
Yeah, it was big, like you said, injury wise. I was coming back from the biggest injury of my career, and this was kind of a way for me to go over the being scared of doing stuff again. I was like, I still get that, and like I was able to build enough confidence to get myself back in the street even after like a big year of struggle. And it was just for myself to make a statement that if you want, you can, you know. So thanks for the shootout, and I hope that the knee rehab is going well for you, homie.
Yeah, man, we're making lots of progress. I'm about 8 months out of surgery now, and you know, I'm to the point now where I can see the light at the end of the tunnel. I'm mountain biking hard, so I'm looking forward to getting back on my skis this year. Last season got cut short, but mad props and mad respect, you know, for all your shots over the years. Your skiing's just been on point since day one. You know, not many people got that many years and that much passion for it. So, want to make sure I gave you some flowers and just told you, you know, like love and respect always.
Much appreciate, man. Much appreciate.
Yeah,
Thank
man.
you.
Dark Horse Farms.
Yes, sir. I agreed to the world. You know the vibes.
Yeah, man. Thanks for calling, Jake.
Yeah,
Thanks,
man. I don't know
man.
how to end this, Iberg. So if you gotta, how do I get back off?
You end it. We got another caller. We're gonna keep going.
All right,
Now,
brother. Yo, give thanks.
you
guys.
end it, Iberg.
Oh, I don't know how.
You click on the New Schoolers top button up there,
And then I say, peace.
and then you say, "Peace, Jake."
All right, he's 5,000. Now we're going Lil Dirt. I don't know what Lil Dirt is, but Lil Dirt be calling. Yo, Lil Dirt, you accepted. Damn, that's the whole point of this. Lil Dirt gonna say, "What up?" _ Bob giving you your flowers. Lil Dirt, you better answer, man. Your name is Joe. No, yeah, he all scared unless he pops up now. Oh man, well, fucking Ross Jacob called in. That was wicked, and you knew him. How do you guys know each other?
Well, in Colorado, we link up when I used to live there for 2 years. And we definitely ski together. And like so many of my homies over like Spriggs, like it was just easy to connect with him. And we definitely connect together while I was in Colorado, and always kind of stay.
Yeah. You know, it is the healing of the nation, as we
Herbs, getting people together. Goodness gracious, this was great, man. Thank you so much, JF, for taking the time to jump in with us and chime in with your insights on your career, man. We could do another hour and a half with the shit you've done. Before the show, Iberg was calling me. I was like, I don't have time to talk. I'm trying to gather all this fucking JF shit. I got too much.
Yeah.
Thanks, guys, man. And thanks again for doing this. And I really enjoy talking with you guys and linking up. And I can't wait until the next time we get to do that.
Yeah,
hopefully soon.
Like. Yeah, man. Thanks, man, from Phil and I and like the whole sport.
Thanks for the flower.
Like we love it, respect it. We want to celebrate it while you're here. We want to thank you. It's dope, man. You gave a lot to the sport, and it is like you outside of Quebec too. You influenced. So thank you for everything you did, man. That's the whole point of this show. We appreciate you.
Hell yeah. Thanks, Iberg, and thanks, Phil, a lot. And Phil, we got to shred my backyard together this season, man.
We're doing it. I'm coming with...
yeah.
I'm coming. For
Always
sure.
welcome. Let's make some little clips. And yeah, that will be fun, man. We should make it happen.
Yes, man. Get back to some Diablo vibes.
Definitely, man. Always welcome, and we'll make it happen.
Enjoy the poutine, buddy.
Love you, dude.
Love you guys.
All right,
peace.
Phil, you stay on now. I say peace, Houle.
Peace.
And then we hit shout. I hit buttons, things out. And you back. Fuck yeah, Phil. Man, that might have been our second longest behind Falou. Maybe we passed him, but Quebec was in the lead of overall time.
Yeah, so much good stories, man. It's so nice to get in depth on those shots and know the whole story. I did not know about the Drummondville spot where his father built two poles behind the fence, and they even painted it so it was
You'll never look
seamless.
at that shot the same now. After you told me it and you played it 5 more times, I'm like, what? There's extra poles there, man. But it all makes sense.
Yeah.
Add on that one, man. Big up Houle again, man. That was so fun. Like, man, he's one of the best guys. So, not two. That's the winner, too. The style, man. He got a pretty good guy. Got style. I don't know. But everyone
King of
wins.
what?
Pretty good human.
King of style.
So next week, 24 people that are watching, we got Chris Turpin. Chris motherfucking Turpin. And I am stoked. Stoked every week. But
He innovated the switch riding in pipe like no other. He jumped off. His career like bounced from nothing. He like came in at 17 years old and showed up with the power and just like new novelty shit.
yeah.
So we're hyped to
Fucking
get Turpin
Eagle
on, and
Four.
thank you.
Booyah. Homeboy could almost was the first guy to do a triple, I think. Like when he busted himself on the Whistler Glacier in 2009, because I think Sammy did his the next week or something. But either way, Turpin's a legend, man. Coach of the fucking Russian team, the Chinese team, D-Splash, super pro rider, innovator, has probably many more tricks that you don't have. And then he does pole tricks. You don't even know about pole tricks. Type in Chris Turpin pole tricks. Yeah, triple from momentum. ABM knows what's up. Big up ABM, man. Great to see your face. Thanks for calling in, too, if you're still watching. And, yeah, Phil, next week, eh? Thanks for watching, all you
Peace,
guys.
people. Thanks for
Girls,
following.
whatever
Giving
out there.
flowers.
Peace.
Peace.